Hello friends, welcome to Mu Lessons. Today we will discuss on a very popular topic, that is the BJTs or the bipolar junction transistors. In the previous video we have learned about the PN junction diodes in which a P-type material is doped with the N-type material. But in case of BJTs we will have three layers, that is NPN or PNP. That means the three layers are doped with each other to make a one BJT. So this is a circuit diagram. You can see this is just for an observation view where these BJTs are used. Here you can find this is the BJT. So this transistor is a device that can be used either as an amplifier or switch whenever a p-type is sandwiched between two n-type materials, or whenever an n-type material is sandwiched between two p-type material, it forms a BJT. And don't misunderstand this, they are formed only by the process of doping. So we'll get two types of BJTs like the NPN or PNP. These are the most popular BJTs which we use. So according to their configurations they vary. In this case you can see this is the circuit diagram of BJT, or you can say the symbol of BJT. In this case it is NPN. That means the electron will flow. This is the common this is the collector N, this base belongs to P, and this is N, emitter. So the direction always states from P to N. Now in the same type as PNP transistor, in this case also you will see the direction is from P to N type. Now learning about these BJTs, there are two types of BJTs as this diagram shows, PNP and NPN. In this case this p-type is sandwiched between the two n-type materials, and in this case this n-type is sandwiched between or doped between these two p-type materials. So this is the cross-sectional view of NPN transistor. You need to remember in case of every NPN transistor there are two junctions. In case of diode we had one depletion layer, but in case of NPN and PNP transistor we have two depletion layers, and hence we will have the two built-in voltages among this NP and among this P and N. So for remembering this you need to remember the N side which is doped more, that is the emitter side, and the last part that is doped less is the collector side, and the middle one is always the base. Similarly in this case also the emitter is the thicker one, and little less thicker than emitter is collector, and middle one is the base. So these are the schematic diagrams showing you the PNP and NPN transistors. Now collector doping is usually 10 to the power 6 times, base doping is slightly higher, that is about 10 to the power 8, and emitter doping is much higher, that is 10 to the power 15. The most highest doping is among the emitter side. Now we need to remember some relations while studying BJTs. In this case the current IB flows from the base side when connected in circuit, and this IC also flows, and this is, you can say, this is the nodal part. So by using Kirchhoff's current law you can see IE is equals to IB plus IC for this type of transistor, and for this type of PNP transistor also you will find IE is IB plus IC, but the only difference is the direction of current. In case of NPN the direction is flow from P side to N side, and in case of PNP also the direction is from P side to N side, and we hence get the direction as follows. Now applying the Kirchhoff's voltage law you can find VCE, that is the voltage across the collector and emitter, that is equals to minus VBE plus VCE, and in this case this VEC is equals to VEB minus VCB. Now you need to remember this equations seen are only for the transistor and not for the whole circuit. When these things are connected in circuit you have to consider everything into view. Now when this schematic diagram is given to you, in that case only these conditions are valid. Now DC beta and DC alpha, these are the amplification, or you can say the current gain values. Beta is the common emitter current gain when the BJT is used in common emitter configurations. The current gain is given by beta, which is equals to IC by IB, and alpha is the current gain when the BJT is arranged in common base configuration, that is given by IC by IE. So there is a nice relationship between these two, that is alpha and beta. Alpha is equals to beta by 1 plus beta, and alpha is, remember, alpha is always greater than 1, and beta is equals to alpha by 1 minus alpha, and beta is always less than 1. So these are very important terms, that is a current gain factor in case of beta, in case of common emitter and common base configurations. Now coming to an example, just analyze this circuit. This is the BJT. Collector current flows from that side and IB flows, and in this case also IE is equals to IB plus IC. Two voltage sources VCB and VBE are attached. Now in this case, given that IB equals to 50 microampere, IC equals to 1 milliampere, and IE is, we have to find this IE, beta and alpha. So it's quite clear, you can easily find it. IE is equals to IB plus IC. Both the currents are given. We have to convert into the same unit. Always remember, convert into the same unit. Then we get IE is equals to 1.05 milliampere. Now beta, for beta we have IC by IE, that is IC by IB. Both the currents are known to us, and we get beta is equal to 20. Now alpha is equals to IC by IE, that is equals to 0.9. So always remember that alpha is always less than 1 and beta is always greater than 1. Now there are three modes of operation for a BJT. That is the active mode, saturation mode and cutoff mode. In case of active mode, both the junctions are to be forward biased. That is the most important mode, and it is central to the amplifier operation. In this case, the collector to emitter and base, collector to base, both should be forward biased. In case of saturation mode of operation, the barrier potential of the junctions cancel out each other and cause a virtual short circuit. And in case of cutoff region, both the regions should be both the modes, that is the common emitter CE or EB, should be reverse biased. That is, the current is reduced to 0 in this case, and the ideal transistor behaves as an open switch. But there is one more mode, that is called the inverse active mode, but it is very rarely used and we rarely study about it. So these are the main three, that is the active mode, saturation mode and cutoff mode. The BJT acts as an amplifier in active mode, and it acts as a switch in case of cutoff mode. So we'll see them later. Now let us look at the basic transistor operation, how it operates. Look at this one side as two separate circuits. In this case, you can find these are the two separate left hand side and right hand side. The base and emitter, that is the left hand side, and the collector and emitter, that is the right hand side. Note that this emitter leg serves as a current for both the circuits in this case. So the amount of current that flows in the base and emitter circuit controls the amount of current that flows in the collector circuit. So in this part, the amount of current flowing always will control the amount of current flowing to the collector circuit. So any small changes in IB, that is the base emitter current, yields a large change in the collector current, and this collector current, hence we can say it depends upon a small change in base emitter current. Now this picture shows you about the structure of the transistor. In case of diodes, we are using just two materials like N and P, but in this case, when both two diodes are doped with each other, with bipolar junction transistor there are three layers you can find. This picture shows you how it is there, that is collector, base and emitter. In this case, this is known as the base and collector junction, and in this case it is the base and emitter junction. In case of diode we had only one junction, but in case of BJT we had two junctions and three layers. That is a three terminal two junction device. It is basically a current control device. It can be NPN or PNP. Now let's learn something about the characteristics and parameters. Now we have already told you that the base emitter current, the change in the base emitter current yields a large change in the collector current. So that is the factor is called the beta, which you have seen before. Beta in the common emitter configuration, the current gain is given by beta, that is IC by IB. Now there are three key DC voltages and three key DC currents to be considered. That are the three currents are IB, IC and IE, that is the base current, emitter current and collector current, and respectively three voltage sources, that is VB, not importantly voltage sources, just the voltage which are formed in this case, that is VB, VCB and VC, that is the DC voltage across base emitter junction, and DC voltage across collector base junction, and the voltage across the collector to emitter junction. So we need to find all the six values in case of numericals whenever it is asked. Just for study purpose, you need to analyze the circuit, how they are formed, and you have to be very master with the Ohm's law and Kirchhoff's law, Kirchhoff's voltage law, Kirchhoff's current law for solving all these problems. Now for proper operation, this base emitter junction should be forward biased as I have said before, and it conducts like a diode. So this first part, that is the left hand side part, this base emitter junction should be forward biased and it should conduct like a diode, and this collector junction should be reverse biased. You can see in this case this is a type of NPN transistor because the arrow mark is given downwards, NPN. So this P side is attached to the positive terminal and this N side is attached to a negative terminal. Hence we can say this first region is the forward bias region. Now corresponding to second circuit, second hand side, second loop, we can see this is N region, NPN, and this is also the N region. Now in this case this N is connected to the positive side, that means the second loop is in reverse bias condition. So in general, summing up, we can say that the collector base junction is always reverse bias and the emitter base junction is forward bias. Now you have to remember that the current will flow through the base emitter junction and it will help to establish a path for the current to flow in the collector junction, that is the current flow from the collector to the emitter. The current flowing through this base and emitter junction makes a path for the current to flow through this collector to emitter junction. And whenever this base emitter junction and collector base emitter junction is forward bias and collector base is reverse bias, it is generally acts as an amplifier, or you can say it acts in the active region. And similarly we will see the operations also later. Now analysis of this transistor circuit to predict the DC voltages and current requires Ohm's law, Kirchhoff's voltage law, Kirchhoff's current law, and the beta for the transistor. The beta for the transistor is always same for a given transistor. Now application of this law begins with the base circuit to determine the amount of base current. Using Kirchhoff's voltage law, we have to subtract 0.7 VB, that is almost used in most analysis examples. VBE, that is the voltage in the base and emitter, is generally 0.7 for silicon diodes. For germanium it becomes 0.4. So you need to know this VB value. For silicon it is 0.7 and for germanium it is 0.4, and you have to apply Kirchhoff's law accordingly. What you ultimately determine by use of Kirchhoff's voltage law for series circuit is that the base circuit VB is distributed across the base emitter junction and RB is the base in the base circuit. In the collector circuit we determine VCC and we have RC connected to the collector side, and we had the transistor collector emitter voltage that is given as VCE. So we need to calculate all the six values, and hence we can get in which mode it is operating or what are the requirements of this BJT. How can this BJT be used for our own applications. Now this transistor characteristics and parameters, collector characteristic curve for a graphical illustration of given in front of you. You can see with greater increase in VCC and VCE continues to increase until it reaches a breakdown point. So in this case you can find as long as there is an increase in VCC, VCE continues to increase until it reaches a breakdown point, but the current remains about the same in the linear region from 0.7 volt to the breakdown volt. And now there is an abrupt rise in the current after this point. So you can say this is the active region, this zone is the cutoff region, and this is the saturation region. So in this case you can calculate alpha, that is the current gain in case of common base circuit. Alpha is given by IC by IE. Now with no IB, that is the current in the base, the transistor is in the cutoff region, and just as the name implies, it is practically no current flows through the collector part of the circuit. With the transistor in the cutoff state, the full VCC can be measured across the collector and emitter voltage. As no current is flowing through this IB, so it doesn't make a path for the collector current to flow through this collector emitter junction, and hence you can measure the voltage across this VCC. This VCC voltage will be same, or you can say this VCE is equals to the VCC in this case, because no current flows through this junction from the collector to emitter region, as IB is equals to 0. We need to remember that IB makes a path for the collector current to flow, but in this case, while IB is 0, no collector current flows, so VC is nearly equals to VCC, or you can say they are exactly equal. And the current flow in the collector part of the circuit is stated previously, determined by IB multiplied by beta, that is we have IC equals to beta into IB. However, there is a limit to how much current can flow in the collector side. Once this maximum is reached, the transistor is said to be in saturation. When maximum current flows through this collector side, the transistor is said to be in a saturation state. You can calculate the saturation state by the application of Ohm's law. In this case, when the transistor has reached this region, we can apply Ohm's law and calculate the IC saturation current, and that will be given by VCC by total resistance, that is RC. The measured voltage across the shorted collector and emitter is 0 volt. In this case, you will find when saturation region is reached, the collector to emitter voltage is becomes 0, and IC is given as VCC by RC. Similarly, previously we have seen the load line graph of diodes. In this case, we will study the load line graph of BJTs. This is the active region and this is the saturation point. This gap makes the saturation region, and until the current reaches the maximum value, that is the saturation current in this point, and this is the cutoff voltage, and the line joining these 2 points VCC and IC gives the load line. Now the beta for a transistor is not always constant. Temperature and collector affect beta. I have said you before, for a given transistor beta is constant, but it changes with the parameters of collector current and temperature or normal heating also. So there are also maximum power ratings to be considered, like IC is equals to power by voltage, that is the maximum power by the voltage across VCE. Now for amplification, transistor as amplifier. I'm really sorry, this picture has gone little bit, it's become messy in this case. Amplification of this relatively small AC voltage can be had by placing an AC signal source in the base circuit. You can apply a AC source in case of this base circuit, and the output will be a little enhanced one, that is the magnitude will increase, and hence this type of transistor acts as an amplifier. The small AC voltage causes the base current to increase and decrease accordingly, and with this small change in the current, the collector current will also be arranged, and the input only will be greater magnitude. But the result in this case will be the small values of base current will lead to the larger values of the current in this case. So this acts as an amplifier. Now these transistors can also act as a switch. We have seen already. We have studied the two regions, that is the cutoff and saturation region. So whenever these transistors are made to operate or made to be operated in these two regions, that is the cutoff and saturation region, simultaneously, it acts as a transistor. In case of saturation region, it is switched on, and in case of cutoff region, it is switched off. Now you need to remember, in case of cutoff region, both the emitter base and the base collector regions are reverse bias, but in case of saturation region, both are forward bias. Now there are three types of BJT biasing. We have already seen a video on transistor biasing, so you can refer that also. Biasing the transistor refers to applying the voltage to the transistor. In this case, we have three types of biasing, like common base biasing, common emitter biasing, and common collector biasing. In case of common base biasing, the input is VEB and IE, the output which you get is VCB and IC. And similarly for the other two, for the common emitter, the input is VBE, that is the voltage across V, base and emitter, and the current is IB, but in this case the output is VCE and IC. And coming to the third type, that is the common collector, or you can say emitter follower circuit. In this case the input is VC and current is IB, but the output is VEC and IE. So this looks quite messy. When we will analyze more number of circuits, you will come to know how this operates. This is the common base configuration. It is not most of the common biasing type. It is often useful in understanding how this BJT works. It is not generally used in practical purposes, but it is very helpful in understanding the working of BJT. We have shown the three regions, that is the saturation region, active region, and cutoff region, in this IV characteristics diagram. This is the circuit diagram for the common base configuration. In this case, you can see the values are given. In this case, when the BJT acts in active mode, the emitter base is forward bias and the collector base is reverse bias. When it acts in the saturation mode, both are forward bias, and when it acts in the cutoff mode, both are reverse bias, and hence accordingly these values are also assigned to it. So you can analyze them and you can find them. Next is the common emitter. Here I have shown the diagram, circuit diagram, and along with the curves, that is the collector current curves. In this kind of configurations, there are certain regions of operations, the basic three regions, active, saturation, and cutoff. In case of active region, small base current controls a large collector current. In case of saturation, this VC increases with IC. With the increase in IC, this VC increases and attains to saturated value. And in case of cutoff region, it is achieved by reducing IB to 0. Whenever the base current becomes equals to 0, we reach the cutoff region. And you can also say when IB reaches 0, IC will also be equal to 0. Now the last part, that is the common collector part. The workings are similar also. In this case, you can go through your books and several problems, so you will get more better idea how this works. But you should be very acquainted with the use of the laws like the Kirchhoff's law, voltage law, and current law, and using the Ohm's law also. You need to analyze the circuits better, in a better manner, to get idea. Now summing up today's video, the bipolar junction is constructed of three regions: base, collector, emitter. It has two PN junctions, that is a base emitter junction and base collector junction, and the two types of transistors can be PNP and NPN. For the BJT to act as an amplifier, the base emitter is forward biased and the collector base junction is reverse biased. That is, whenever BJT operates in active region, it can operate as an amplifier. Whenever it operates in the cutoff and saturation region, it will act as a switch. Of the three currents, IV is the smallest one, and IE is very small in comparison to IE and IC. Beta is the current gain of the transistor. In case of common emitter configuration, it is given as ratio of IC by IB. Now the transistor can operate as an electronic switch also whenever it acts in simultaneously on the cutoff region and saturation region. In case of cutoff region, the transistor is off. In case of saturation region, the transistor is on. Now I have missed one point. The current gain regarding whenever it is in common base configuration, that is alpha, which is given by IC by IV. Also, beta for a transistor is constant, but it can vary with the temperature and also varies with the transistor to transistor, or more amount of heating through the transistor. So I hope this video has given you a clear idea about BJTs. Now you can proceed with the numericals and you can follow them. Thank you.